Let's talk B complex with Dr. B. No, not low-rent apartment buildings for bees. There are chapters in the video description. Feel free to watch just those sections of interest to you. Check out the summation at the end for my recommendations on each vitamin. It will help you decide when to spend your money and when you can save a buck. There are also 2 other videos in this series, one each on folate and vitamin B12. Make sure to check those out as well.
Alrighty then.
Let's start off with a little background and history, shall we? Let's begin with what is a vitamin. The name actually comes from a key structural part of most vitamins, an amine, and the fact that they are vital to your existence. Put them together and you get a vital amine, or vitamin. That's the name. But what's important is that these are nutrients you must consume through foods or supplements in order to sustain life. Your body cannot make them for itself. There are 13 vitamins. 8 of those are B vitamins, often called B complex. While each B vitamin has specific roles, they all aid the body in either the use or production of energy. B vitamins are a newer discovery than you might think. Vitamin B1 was first identified in 1926, with the last one, B12, being identified in 1947. It all started off with the observation that those who ate the polished white rice got beriberi, while those that ate the unpolished brown rice did not. It took almost 40 years from that observation before the first vitamin was isolated. One quick note on terminology before we move on. Often you'll hear some of these referred to as the active form. That's a bit misleading. All these forms are active in that they all fulfill the vitamin needs within your body. Going forward, I'll use the phrase biological form to refer to those forms that actually participate in reactions within your body. I'll go through each vitamin in turn, mentioning the various forms available, and talk about when a particular form may be better and when it doesn't seem to matter. Let's start where it all started, with B1. The biological form of B1 is thiamine pyrophosphate. B1 is mainly involved in the conversion of proteins into energy. Unfortunately, there are no studies in humans using thiamine pyrophosphate. Therefore, there is no evidence for any advantage of the pyrophosphate form over the more common forms of B1, like thiamine mononitrate or thiamine hydrochloride. Even if taken as the pyrophosphate form, the phosphate is removed in the gut and or the blood and then re-added when needed later. So in this case, it doesn't seem to matter how you take your B1, any form is probably just as good as another. The biological form of vitamin B2 is riboflavin 5-phosphate, also called flavin mononucleotide. B2 in foods comes mostly in the form of various flavins, mainly as FAD. B2 participates in energy transfer reactions and in the activation of other vitamins, B3 and B12 in particular. As with B1, there is no research or evidence that any form of riboflavin is any better than another. It too simply has not been studied. B3 comes in 2 biological forms, the coenzymes NAD and NADP. NAD is the key part of the cycle that every cell in your body uses to create energy. You may have heard about NAD. It's gotten a lot of press lately as a key to longevity and feeling younger. However, NAD makes for a poor supplement, as very little survives digestion. The only effective way to get pure NAD is through an IV. That leaves you with 4 options that your body can use to make NAD. These options are nicotinic acid, niacinamide, and 2 other forms I'll just call NR and NMN. The first 2 are your traditional forms of vitamin B3. The latter 2, NR and NMN, have gained a lot of attention lately as longevity supplements like NAD. That's a topic for another time. Your body also has the capability to make NAD from the amino acid tryptophan, the amino acid in turkey that puts you to sleep every Thanksgiving. All 4 of these compounds will increase blood NAD levels. Like the previous 2 vitamins, there's just not a lot of research comparing these forms That means I can't say that one form is better than another. However, it does look like taking multiple forms of B3 will be better than any one form by itself. Right now, it looks like taking either of the traditional B3 forms, niacinamide or nicotinic acid, along with NR might be the best combination. It's likely that you could also use NMN as your second choice, though research on NMN for this purpose is lacking. So, take your pick. Any one of the four should work equally well as a precursor to NAD, aka vitamin B3. Picking either nicotinic acid or niacinamide and combining it with either NR or NMN might be the optimal approach. Vitamin B5 comes in just one form, D-calcium pantothenate. B5 is a component of coenzyme A key factor in fat metabolism and thus the main role for B5 in energy production, fat metabolism. Like NAD, oral coenzyme A does not survive digestion. Therefore, pantothenic acid is the best oral form of this vitamin. You may also see panthenol as the form of this vitamin used in topical creams and cosmetics. With no other forms being available, this one's pretty quick. Vitamin B6 actually consists of 6 compounds: pyridoxal, pyridoxine, pyridoxamine, and their phosphorylated forms. Pyridoxine and pyridoxine phosphate are the forms most commonly found in foods. B6 assists over 100 enzymes in the conversion of amino acids, or protein, into energy. Most of the B6 in the body is found associated with muscles. Pyridoxal 5-phosphate, also called P5P, is the biological coenzyme form of vitamin B6. P5P is also the dominant form of B6 found in the blood and body tissues. Like a lot of the other B vitamins, there's no research comparing the different forms when taken orally. There is some indication that the pyridoxine and pyridoxamine forms may actually do a slightly better job at increasing blood levels than the pyridoxal form. Only those with a specific form of epilepsy have a documented benefit for taking P5P. For the rest of us, the form of B6 that we take doesn't seem to matter. However, taking B6 as pyridoxine or pyridoxamine might offer an advantage. B7 or biotin is the simplest of all the B vitamins. It only comes in one form, and that happens to be the biological form. B7 serves as a cofactor for several key enzymes involved in the conversion of carbohydrates and proteins into energy. B7 is also involved in keratin synthesis and other aspects of hair and nail health. So we can wrap up these 6 B vitamins pretty quickly. In a nutshell, save your money. Paying extra for the biological forms of B1, 2, 3, 5, 6, or 7 probably won't yield any great benefit. In some cases, the biological form won't even survive digestion, making your extra dollars completely worthless. If you want to optimize your niacin, vitamin B3, then take one form each from nicotinic acid, niacinamide, and NR-NMN. It's uncertain how much of a benefit this will get you, but it should make it so you can take less and absorb more. Additionally, if you're one of the unlucky few with a specific form of epilepsy, then the P5P form of B6 is just what you need. Otherwise, any form of B6 is probably just as good as another. No matter which forms you choose, you should also know that all of these vitamins have dedicated absorption pathways. These pathways are pretty easy to saturate. This means that once you saturate the pathway, your body dramatically reduces what it can absorb. Taking different forms like B3 may get around this limitation in some cases. But in most cases, all forms use the same pathway. Bottom line, this means if you want to get the most of your B vitamins, then take them in smaller doses throughout the day. If you take large doses all at once, then most of what you're paying for is literally being flushed down the toilet. What's the best way to do that? Eat healthy foods all day long. If you choose to supplement, then do it in divided doses. Boom. Knowledge supplemented. Thanks for watching. All my references for this video are in the description below. This is not a comprehensive bibliography, just enough to cover the bases. Use these to help guide any additional study of your own. Make sure to check out the other 2 videos in this series and let me know what other topics you'd like covered in the comments. Liking and subscribing helps me out and lets me know which topics are the most valuable to you all. See you next time.